Greetings YouTube, this is Toy Customizer, Wake Angel 2001 with another commission for Kaidar 12. Chibi Mephiles the Big-Headed Dark. My drawing's silly. Okay, so Mephiles the Dark is of course going to be made from a shadow figure. And Mephiles is actually one of the first customs that I ever made way back in the day. And just like I did with that old Mephiles figure, the first thing I do is discard the hands and feet.
Hey there. Some people on DeviantArt and YouTube have been asking me to demonstrate my curing process for them again. I did make a video showing my curing process in the past, but I since realized it was extremely flawed. My instructions were to leave it in the water for much longer than is actually necessary, because the water actually transfers heat into the clay at a much faster rate, causing the curing process to take much less time. And if you leave it in too long, then it can overcure the clay and make it extremely brittle, making your customs fragile or even allowing cracks to form when they're on display, which is just no good. So I've been putting in text commentary that you only need to leave it in the clay in the water for literally a few seconds, but you know, it's not the same as actually giving a video demonstration. So for this custom, I'm going to take this little pot of boiling water and this potato masher, and I'm going to cure Mephiles' head right in front of the camera so that the whole process can be easily seen. Okay, so there is my boiling water. And here is my head. It has the clay on it already. Now this clay is extremely soft, so you have to be careful. And here's my dipping tool of choice. It's a potato masher, but anything that you can dip into the hot water and keep your hand a safe distance from it will work just as well. I'm going to gently, without mushing any of the soft clay, place the head onto the potato masher. And then I'm going to dip it in. Now this is being played in real time. I'm not speeding up the footage at all. Just leaving it in the water for a few seconds. Remember, this is soft clay. Now I'm taking it out. There wasn't much time. Now I'm just going to let it cool for just a little bit, like at least until the steam stops rising, maybe blow on it. And then I'm going to very gently touch the clay and see how easy it is to deform. And it's not deforming. It's actually rigid to my touch right now. So how about that? That was literally as long as it took to cure the clay. So if you ever have any plans on curing your own, you want to leave it in for about that amount of time. And if you remember, if you leave it in too long, then it'll become very brittle and your work won't look as good. But yeah, this head, this is basically, yeah, this is cured. It works. Okay, we now return to our regularly scheduled process.
So yes, after curing, this is what it looks like. This time I cast all the clay parts in a sickly blue color. My first Mephiles, all these parts were white, and I got about 1 billion nitpicking comments about how I got the colors wrong. So yes, this time I cast everything in this sickly shade of light blue, and as you can see, the fabrication extends to the back spines, and also the tail, which I didn't take pictures of. The hands and also the feet are completely made from scratch because I'm awesome at this. And here is your final product. Mephiles the Dark. He has little feet because Mephiles has little feet. Okay, and here is the completed Mephiles. As you can see, he is made sickly blue. On the eyes, I actually used only one layer of red, which leaves gaps, which creates that whole burning eye thing look he has. And this isn't my first Mephiles. Mephiles was actually one of the first customs that I made way back in the day. Of course, back then I got the color palette. I made him white and black. And I got about 50 bazillion comments telling me that that's not his color. So I made a more sickly blue to satisfy the nitpickers in my audience. But even without nitpicking, I really don't like how this original Mephiles is. As you can see, even at this resolution, you can probably see cracks, and more cracks just about all over the place forming on this guy. That is because, as one of my earlier figures, I made him back when I didn't know much about curing and I left it in the water too long. Aside from that, the defect of the figure itself, the arm doesn't quite sit in the shoulder. It never fell out amazingly, but if up close you can see that it's not really in there. Of course, I have no idea how. This is just an ordinary digital camera, doesn't really have good autofocus. Well, yep, there you go. Out with the old, in with the new. Mephiles, with his handcrafted hands and feet, and all of his little detailings. And yes, he still moves, but his joints are much tighter. The tight joints are actually a bit of a problem this time, because every time I move him I feel like I'm going to break his hands or something. Mephiles!